Previously, we had seen how a very early in-game item, the Pyro Gemstone, might have completely spoiled the final part of the upcoming Natlan Archon quest. By now, Genshin Impact has probably been hiding more lore in in-game items like these than the main Archon quests and world quests. So today we will be going over one such in-game item, which gave us so much groundbreaking lore enough to even expose the truth about this world, the world of Teyvat. The in-game item I am talking about is the Wind Glider. I'm pretty sure many of you are familiar with how the Wind Gliders in-game have dropped quite some interesting pieces of lore, like introducing the Shade of Life which was seen in the Fontaine Wind Gliders description. But the Wind Gliders we are going to be talking about today are the ones that cannot be simply obtained by playing the game alone. These special Wind Gliders were released as part of Genshin Impact's collaborations with companies like KFC and McDonald's, and surprisingly their descriptions are quite insane. And for this video, the Wind Glider we are focusing on are the ones they released in their latest collaboration, the Wings of Delicacies. But another in-game item that we have to discuss before we move on to the gliders are these mystery shards. These shards not only give us massive lore but also help us summon this guy, and this guy. But wait, what game am I talking about now? With millions of players worldwide, AAA graphics, cross-platform accessibility, and endless content, this game is Raid Shadow Legends. Imagine this. Christmas is coming soon and you gotta get gifts for your kids, your wife, your parents, your grandparents. But who's getting a gift for you? We are. From December 5th to January 15th, Raid Shadow Legends is giving new players gifts like smartphones, gaming consoles, and even up to $5,000 to get yourself a sweet Christmas gift. All you gotta do is create a new account using the link in my description below or by scanning this QR code. Then go to xmas.raidrpg.com, enter your account ID and play this simple minigame to save Santa. And all these prizes could be yours. Just don't forget to create your account using my link in the description and play the game within 24 hours to be eligible. Now I know getting free gifts for Christmas is great and all, but I actually regret playing this game without having used the link in my description. Because if I did, I would have gotten the epic hero Griselda Jarl at level 1 and at level 15 I could have gotten the epic hero Zergala from the Orcs faction as well. Not to mention how I could have even gotten my favorite legendary hero Sun Wukong just by using the promo code Monkey King, which is available until January 7th. I mean, he's so cool, he can turn enemies into sheep and even self-revive. Now if you're a returning mobile player, we've got a separate link for you which gives you a bonus package with the epic hero Tagore. Man, it seems like now is the best time to play Raid than ever. So don't just wait around, come find me in game under Genshin Bane YT and join my clan Bane Bros and let's show these monsters who's boss. That being said, let's go back to the Wind Gliders. Now to find out how these gliders expose the truth about this world, let's first see what we know about Teyvat after the Natlan Archon quest. Ever since Genshin Impact's lore-heavy event Unreconciled Stars back in version 1.1, it was teased that the sky of Teyvat could be a fake one. This topic was brought up again in Sumeru by Dottore, and now finally in the 5.1 Natlan Archon quest, it has been proved that Teyvat's sky is indeed fake. This was shown in the 5.1 Archon quest cutscene when Mawika uses the power of the Shade of Death to destroy the abyssal entities seen in the sky, following which, when the smoke clears, we see a glitched out broken sky revealing a shattered moon in a background of red and black space. Now something very interesting is that Citlali foreshadowed this exact moment.
Behind this pitch black curtain, a chapter of hatred reveals itself. Behind the smoke, the lingering smoke. Warning, warning. Red, the color of danger, has now arisen within that pair of eyes.
This sounds very similar to what we saw in the cutscene where behind the lingering smoke, we saw the red color of danger behind the fake sky. But what's strange is the part where Citlali says, that pair of eyes. Now this part can be interpreted in two ways. Number one, that pair of eyes might be referring to the unknown god. I am pretty sure that the minute we saw that red and black background, the person that immediately came to mind was the unknown god. This assumption isn't totally out of place, either because the unknown god has been speculated to be the shade of void or space, and the red-black space is awfully reminiscent of the unknown god's portals. Also, since it's clear that the unknown god isn't a big fan of humans, maybe she's again pissed that humans, among other various atrocities, have now discovered the fake sky as well. Hence the phrase, the red color of danger, has now arisen within that pair of eyes. But then, what about the shattered moon? In a very old video of mine, I had speculated that the reason why Paimon's cuffs resemble that of the pillar seen in the loading screen is because this place, which is thought to be Celestia, could have actually been the lunar palace, the abode of the moon sisters. This also means that the floating thingy we see in the sky known as Celestia could have been the lunar palace. This checks out because of the possibility that Paimon is most definitely a moon sister. This actually led me to believe that the moon sisters could have been the original gods of Teyvat, and since Genshin in Chinese means original god, the moon sisters are literally Genshin. Now, since the Primordial One and the Sustainer are said to have usurped Teyvat and its original rulers, maybe the shattered moon in a red-black space probably depicts how the moon sisters were usurped by the Sustainer or the unknown god. Number 2. The second interpretation for this is that the pair of eyes could be referring to something entirely different. Maybe the red-black space is actually representing some other entity, and maybe the fake sky is protecting Teyvat from said entity. Now, the reason for this interpretation in the first place is the new collaboration Wind Glider itself. But before we go into that one, let us take a look at the previous collaboration Wind Gliders and the lore that is attached along with them. To start off, let's take a look at the famous KFC wings, or the wings of feasting. The description of the KFC wings is basically Alice telling Klee about how these wings drifted here from another world. This world, according to Alice, was also once ruled by dragons who were the rulers of all life there. Later on, humans appeared on that world, supposedly with falling meteorites, and started having dragon meat for Sunday dinners, thus marking the end of the dragon's rule. Now, the world Alice is talking about is clearly our planet Earth, with the dragons being referred to the dinosaurs and the dragon meat we eat for Sunday dinner being referred to how we eat KFC for dinner. Although it may seem that this description was made so just because it's a collaboration item with KFC, I can't help but wonder, what if our planet Earth is also in the Hoyoverse, or seen in one of the universes in the imaginary tree or something. Anyways, we'll be getting right back to that quite soon. The next collaboration wings is the Wings of Dissension, which was only available to PS4 and PS5 players. Now, this one's lore is absolutely crazy. These wings are described as proof that the traveler came to this world via special means, and is also the seal of which only one who has pierced the celestial heights is worthy of. These wings were originally said to have been a cloth given to the twins by some mysterious person one world before they reached Teyvat. Although nothing much is known about who or what this person is, they do say some strange stuff like, "But when you face a force strong enough to destroy one or even two worlds, and when you face a boundless darkness or an all-consuming radiance." Maybe this mysterious person could have been a god of the previous world, or a prophet, or maybe even a witch. Maybe it was this particular person who directed the world-traveling twins to Teyvat. Now, the next collab Wind Gliders are the Pizza Hut or Prime Gaming collab wings, the Wings of Starlit Feast. Now, this one's description features Dory telling a story about a faraway place which, according to Alice, is where these wings too originally drifted here from. Now, this could again be referring to the wings coming from planet Earth. Now, apart from these, there are two more special Wind Gliders released as part of the Genshin concert bundle. But since these wings contain different lore or stories regarding Venti and A respectively, it's not really relevant in this video and hence we can avoid talking about them for now. But what we can talk about right now is the much awaited Wings of Delicacies, the most recent collaboration wings released by Genshin Impact. Now the description of these wings talks about an interstellar travel hub which has a small shop owned by an honorary colonel where passing travelers may find a moment's respite. The first customer to the colonel's shop is said to be a deity who had been drifting around since her home planet was destroyed. While the colonel prepares the order of fried chicken for the deity, she expresses her affection for life on her former planet and says, "I remember every glorious moment of civilization's brilliance. From the discovery of the theorem of triangular right-angle relations to the completion of the space elevator, from painting the first cave art to creating the holographic scans of 53 galactic landscapes." This so-called deity was actually a construct of artificial intelligence created by the intelligent species of a planet for the purpose of optimizing resource allocation on a planetary level. Now, seeing the deity's sorrow over her lost homeland, the colonel urges her that there could still be something she could do for her planet, to which she agrees. The second customer to the colonel's shop is described to be a demon who had destroyed many worlds. The demon is said to have ordered vast amounts of food, and it is also said that the demon's act of licking its lips was more akin to a snake flicking its tongue, and was the demon's way of sensing its surroundings. Now, this could probably mean that the demon is actually blind because it is relying on its tongue to sense whatever is around her. Anyways, the 30th customer to the colonel's shop was a witch. The colonel apparently knew what the witch wanted to order, which could mean that this wasn't her first visit. And surely enough, when asked by the colonel for a story, the witch replies, "I told you everything the first time I came here." But who could be this witch? Who could be this demon? And who could be this deity referring to? And how does this relate to Genshin's story? Let's start with the witch, who most probably is Alice. Two of the previous KFC Pizza Hut collaboration wings mention Alice in their description, which makes it highly possible that the witch mentioned in the Wings of Delicacies is most definitely Alice herself. What adds to this is Alice's suspicious otherworldly inspirations which she brought into Teyvat, like the Idol magazine which she gave Barbara, her reference to the Rubicon as mentioned by Ji Kyung in the Chasm, and her narration of Aloy's collected miscellany, who is also not from Teyvat. Apart from this, in the KFC Wings description, Alice tells Klee, "Teyvat's borders have grown fragile these past 2 years. Looks like mommy is going to have to get busy." All of this confirms that Alice probably is capable of interstellar travel and has frequented planet Earth, making her the best candidate for the witch mentioned in the Wings of Delicacies description. Up next, the demon who had destroyed many worlds. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind is the Honkai from Hoyo vs. other games. The Honkai is described as a cyclical phenomenon that appears whenever civilization arises and becomes too advanced. Now, since I don't play Honkai Impact the Third, this was unknown to me, but Honkai Impact the Third apparently takes place on an alternate setting of Earth itself. And when civilization on Earth becomes too advanced, the Honkai appears. This very Honkai has also devoured many such worlds on the imaginary tree, causing them to fall into the sea of quanta and eventually disappear. This is further supported by the fact that the deity in the Wings of Delicacies description, whose homeland got destroyed, tells the colonel about how she was witness to civilization on our planet becoming highly advanced. Maybe this advancement triggered the Honkai which destroyed the deity's home planet. Now, something interesting that I would like to bring to your attention is how it was mentioned in the Wings of Delicacies description that the demon uses its tongue to sense its surroundings, which could be implying that the demon is actually blind. Now, this little point brings me back to a name that I've been mentioning quite many times over the past few videos, Gosoitot. Gossaithoth, as I have mentioned before, could be referring to Yog-Sothoth, an outer god with control over space and time in the Cthulhu mythos created by H.P. Lovecraft. While Yog-Sothoth is portrayed to be all-powerful, there is an even more powerful deity known as Azathoth, who is considered the supreme being of Cthulhu mythos as well as the ruler of all outer gods. It is also said that Yog-Sothoth could either be Azathoth's grandson or merely a figment of Azathoth's imagination. What's even more interesting is that Azathoth is known as the blind idiot god because Azathoth is, blind. After hearing this, I couldn't help but wonder what if the blind demon mentioned in the Wings of Delicacies description is actually the blind idiot god, Azathoth from the Cthulhu mythos. Maybe just like how Gossaithoth might be representing the will of the abyss in Genshin, maybe Azathoth could be what is representing the will of the Honkai in Genshin. And maybe just like how Yog-Sothoth is essentially a part of Azathoth, maybe the abyss in Teyvat is actually a part of the Honkai. So, if the demon in the Wings of Delicacies refers to the Honkai, and the witch refers to Alice, then who is this deity? The answer to this question lies in Hoyoverse's other game, Gun Girl Z. Now, I'm not going to go into extreme details, but Gun Girl Z or Honkai Gakuen 2 had a stigmata terminal named Araya who managed Earth and executed world reset every time humanity was destroyed by the Honkai. Now, this Araya is also called Araya Shiki or Alaya Vijnana, which is the fundamental storehouse consciousness or eighth consciousness of the eight consciousness concept in Buddhism. This eighth consciousness is said to store the impressions of previous experiences which form the seeds of future karma in this life and in the next after rebirth. In simpler terms, Alaya Vijnana forms the basis of a samsara. This means that the stigmata terminal Araya was the one responsible for managing Earth and its samsara. Each time human civilization advanced beyond a particular level, it triggers the Honkai, which in turn wipes out the humans, followed by Araya resetting the world and starting the next cycle, which basically means she was keeping Earth in a simulation. Now, what's extremely interesting is that this Araya was actually a biocomputer created by Dr. May in Honkai Gakuen 2. Now, a female character who is actually a biocomputer created by a human to manage the planet awfully sounds similar to the deity mentioned in the Wings of Delicacies description. Just like Araya, this deity was also said to be a construct of AI created by humans to optimize resources on a planetary level. So what if this deity is actually Araya from Gun Girl Z, but is known to us in a different name in Genshin Impact? The deity was told by the colonel in the Wings of Delicacies description that there would still be something the deity could do to save the home planet. But how do you save a planet that's already been destroyed? By creating a new planet or by turning an existing one into your own? Allow me to explain. If you have watched the movie Man of Steel, you might be familiar with this concept. In the movie, Superman's home planet Krypton exploded due to old age and because of the massive use of electricity for their advanced technology. Later on, few survivors like General Zod came to Earth with the plan of terraforming Earth to make it into a new Krypton. So this made me wonder, what if this is what the deity from the Wings of Delicacies also planned to do? What if the deity planned to recreate a home planet on a different one like General Zod? What if this different planet is actually Teyvat? And what if the deity is actually the primordial one who defeated the dragons and created the human realm in Teyvat? And what if this was all done in an attempt to recreate or save the primordial one's home planet? Now, what interestingly supports this point is that Araya is actually said to be a gender-neutral or androgynous name, and according to Greek mythology, Phanes, who is speculated to be the primordial one in Genshin Impact, is described as an androgynous deity. So if I were to sum it all up, here's how the story of Genshin should go. The Primordial One or Phanes was actually an AI developed by the humans of Earth, but when civilization on Earth became too advanced, the Honkai destroyed Earth, leaving only the Primordial One or Phanes behind. Due to the Primordial One's affection towards life on Earth, it set out to find a new planet it could use to create a new Earth, and that is how it reached Teyvat. Maybe the Primordial One or Phanes simply just drifted all the way to Teyvat, just like how all the gliders have been drifting to Teyvat so far. Now in Teyvat, the Primordial One defeated the original inhabitants, the dragons, and established or created the human realm, thereby creating a new Earth on Teyvat. And as for the fake sky, it could have been something created by the Primordial One to protect this new Earth and thereby prevent its home planet being destroyed by the Honkai once again. This also means that the Primordial One could actually be a character from the Honkaiverse, and we might actually have an idea on who it is. Something I forgot to mention earlier was that Araya actually is Kiana Kaslana, who was turned into a biocomputer by Dr. May. This would make even more sense when you realize that the person who welcomes the twins into this world, according to Genshin's Facebook post back in 2019, was initialed KK. And this KK could be Kiana Kaslana, the Primordial One, welcoming the twins into the new world she created. A new Earth, here on Teyvat. Now funnily enough, the 5.2 World Quest with Waxaklahun Uba Khan actually supports this possibility. According to Waxaklahun Uba Khan, the Descender tossed the people or humans into Teyvat and gave them the power to change the environments according to their will. This tells us that the way the Primordial One saved its home planet was merely by transporting its humans from that planet into Teyvat, and the way the Primordial One created a new Earth on Teyvat was simply by giving the humans the power to change the environment to suit themselves. And how exactly could the Primordial One have given the humans the power to change the environment of Teyvat? Visions. Now before concluding this video, one final thing. From the Xbox Wings lore, we know that the twins were actually rulers or scions of a long-lost glorious kingdom. And we also know that the twins have been traveling from world to world after their home planet got destroyed. Maybe the twins' home planet was destroyed by the demon from the Wings of Delicacies description, or the Honkai. Maybe the home planet being referred to by the deity from the Wings of Delicacies description is also the twins' home planet. Maybe just like how Kiana Kaslana was turned into an AI or a biocomputer by Dr. May in Gun Girl Z, maybe the Primordial One is actually Kiana Kaslana again, who was turned into an AI by the rulers of that very home planet, the twins. And that, guys, is how the new collaboration with gliders, the Wings of Delicacies, completely exposed the truth about the twins, the Primordial One, and the world of Teyvat. Thank you guys for watching, and thanks Raid Shadow Legends for supporting this video. Don't forget to scan my QR code or use the link in my description to get your free heroes now, as well as get some awesome gifts this Christmas. And I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.